Hello everyone, I'm one of the head chair of OLMUN 2023, Huang Zui, and today I'll talk to you about how to write a position paper. So to begin, what is a position paper? A position paper is a paper that will present your country's stance to the issue or topic that your committee will be discussing during the conference. So in other words, it's a paper on the topic of your committee. The purpose of it is to show your country's relation and involvement with the topic at hand, as well as to propose potential solutions to this problem. The position paper is a good opportunity to show how knowledgeable you are about the topic at hand, and it's also a good chance to leave a good first impression on your chairs. In OLMUN, the position paper is also extremely important because it counts towards your end of term English score, as well as being the only criteria for being for the best position paper award, one of OLMUN's awards. And with that in mind, how do you write a position paper? So a position paper usually follows this structure. First, you have your introduction, where you state your country's position on the topic in question. Following that, you have two main paragraphs, one to state some past international actions, and one to state your country's own actions. And finally, you have the conclusion, where you list some of your proposed solutions. Don't worry if you find this vague right now, because I'll talk to you more about them in detail. So first is the introduction to your position paper. Here you write briefly about your topic. Delegates usually write about they usually define the topic here and also explain its impacts or explain why it should be discussed. And to end the paragraph, there's usually a sentence to state one's country stance, often backed by a relevant quote or a relevant action that their country has done. Uh, Next up, we have the body paragraph. This paragraph basically answers the question, what has been done on the international stage or international level to tackle this problem? Here, you should talk about some important past international actions or policies. And when I say important, what I mean is that it should have great global impacts. Maybe it became the groundwork for an influential international organization, or maybe it drew some important definitions and boundaries that all issues regarding a problem must follow that in the future. That is what I mean when I say important. After the first body paragraph is the second body paragraph. This paragraph answers the question, what has your country done regarding this issue? To do this, list some of your country's past actions and policies. This could be a conference, maybe a bill that was passed, or even what the people's stance on the issue is. If your country has done little or nothing at all, explain why that is the case, and to compensate, you can also talk about what countries with similar conditions or stance as you have done regarding this issue. Uh, Historically, this is mostly seen in African or underdeveloped countries in general. And if you happen to be one of these countries, don't panic. And similar to the previous paragraph, what you list here should also have great significance. And lastly, you have the conclusion. Here, you should talk about 2 to 3 solutions or ideas to the problem that you want to see discussed in the conference and hopefully implemented. You should justify your solutions and explain why it's valid, why it's realistic, and why it should be implemented instead of some other solutions. You should back this with quotes or scientific facts. Some things you should keep in mind while writing this paper is that, first and foremost, the position paper is a formal piece of writing. Because of that, please write in the correct format, use formal and diplomatic language, avoid personal pronouns like I, me, and provide sources to prove back your arguments and perhaps most importantly, do not plagiarize. Plagiarism will not be tolerated. If you could not write to the best of your abilities. That way you can get a score. If you plagiarize, you'll most likely get a 1 or a 0. And also remember to keep your writing short and to the point and make it smart. That is specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and timely. Lastly, you want to stay really close to your country stance. Remember that you are a delegate of a country, uh, or you are representing a country, and as such, it's your mission to best represent your nation's interests, not your own personal interests. Okay, so now I'll quickly go over and show you what a good and bad position paper looks like. So the first one is a position paper on the issue of foreign intervention in internal conflicts. This was one of OLMUN's topics last year. So right off the bat, you can see that the paragraph begins with a short but sufficient introduction to the topic. Following that, you have a specific example on the effect that foreign intervention can have, and to conclude, the stance of the country is stated, backed by a quote by the country's leader. Uh, so next one we have this. This is also an introduction to the same topic, but this one is a bit longer, but still will stay really close to the point. So you can see that it follows the same structure. It begins with the definition of the topic and also like some of the effects, like what the historical impacts of the topic, and also the country stance. Uh, while this one is longer, it's definitely still okay. In some ways, it's even better than the previous one. But it's your call to decide how you write your introduction. Uh, so next we have the first body paragraph. So as you can see, this one listed around 2 to 3 really important articles to the problem. These are again all have great international relevance, and that is why they are included. If you're writing your if you're writing your sorry first if you're writing your first body paragraph, all the things you include should again have international significance. Please only list only like two or at most like three articles or actions that were really important. Anything more than that is it's fine, but oftentimes it's more than enough to list just two or three. And remember that it should have great uh, international significance. And in the second body paragraph, you can see that it starts immediately with what the country has done. This is a great way to start your paragraphs, uh, be it the first or the second or the ending, because this is uh, quick, this is straight to the point, it doesn't beat around the bush, and it's always an effective introduction. And here you can see that the delegate has written like really specifically about the actions taken, uh, which also helps the chair to uh, like gauge how knowledgeable the delegate is, but also to learn more about what's going on in the delegate's country. And to end, again, this is really clear, really concise, straight to the point. This is great. And you don't see any unnecessary words or sentences. It's straight to the point. Like everything you need to know, you can read right away. And the delegate also give like reasoning, uh, not really reasoning, but they are giving like what they want to do and why they want to do that. Okay, so next up we have an example of uh, a quite bad position paper, if I do say so myself. So right from the beginning, you can see that there is a mistake. Instead of writing the World Health Organization, abbreviated as WHO, this delegate wrote it as the World Welfare Health Organization, which is incorrect. And there are also like, if you were to pause and read this, you will see that there is a lot of mistakes, really weird writing choices, and it's overall not a really good experience to read. Uh, and near the end, you can see that there is a lack of a country stance. Remember, guys, the most important thing about your introduction is your country stance. Please include it in there, or else you'll be graded quite harshly. And also, if you see like before the word this, there's the dot. This is because instead of writing it in a conventional paragraph, this delegate decided to write his entire position paper in bullet points. This is not how you write a position paper, and you'll be graded very harshly if you do choose to write it like that, or any format that isn't a uh, traditional like essay kind of structure. And here, this is the delegate's first body paragraph. While the delegate did write about some international issues, most of it is irrelevant as it details more about a certain event rather than like what global effect the event had. So yeah, don't do that. Again, only list like 2 to 3 important, maybe like important conferences or important policies that were passed regarding the issue at hand. And this is the second body paragraph. Again, really irrelevant. It has many unclear sentences. Just don't write like this. Here you can see that there is like the delegate used personal pronouns. The personal pronoun I. You should never do this. Please write in third person, as you are not writing for yourself, but rather writing for your whole country. Remember, as a delegate, you are representing the whole country. And finally, you have like this is the this is the conclusion of the position paper. And as you can see, first off, the problem is quite apparent. There's no like proposed solutions or anything. And if you were to read like the whole paragraph, it just makes no sense. And the last sentence is an absolute joke. Our girl is the British national, a big daddy's girl, and probably would go with my wife. I don't care how you write your position paper, but please don't write anything like this. Uh, if 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 I were to grade this position paper, I would give the delegate a 0. But unfortunately for them, uh, I did not grade this. But if I catch you writing like this, you will get a very low grade. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video. Uh, if you want to maybe watch again about how to write a position paper, you can watch the video again. And remember that this is a suggested template to write your position paper, uh, not a requirement. If you want, you can even instead of writing the past international actions in the first paragraph, in the first body paragraph, you can uh, include it in the second body paragraph, and maybe like use that for to provide more context for the problem if you believe that it that should be how you write it. Or maybe you can write 3 body paragraphs, 4 body paragraphs. It's really up to you, as long as the ideas are there, as long as it's concise, as long as it's easy to read and it's logical, then you're good. Okay, so good luck with your position paper writing, and I look forward to reading and grading your position papers.